Anyway. We all make choices. Middle school me, it does get better. I promise. We all make decisions, and some of them aren't the best. Like these ears. So let's just get into it. I apologize in advance. I know the video quality on this is probably absolute garbage, but that's because I usually film stuff on my phone. I forgot I have an Among Us sticker. That is embarrassing. Okay, I usually film stuff on my phone, but I went to a concert this last week and my storage is literally entirely full, so I'm filming this on the, tablet that I usually use to draw on, like an iPad kid. But I'm back, we're at it again. I have notes again because I refuse to look at the camera. I'm just gonna jump right into it. Overall book thoughts, you know the character. This is the third one. I'm assuming if you're watching this, you already know more about this book series than I do, and I've already seen spoilers and stuff, so and I've literally read 3 of the book. Okay, what am I talking about? It's fine, it's fine. Everything is perfectly fine, and I'm so mentally stable after reading this book. I'm doing so good. Last book we left off with, the whole Volturi thing, and she's grounded. But she's with Edward again. First, summary, yay. The beginning of the book is just conflict between Edward and Jacob over, kind of fighting over Bella, and Edward thinking that, Jacob is unsafe for her, whatever. It's resolved because there's, this big group of vampires that's evil because they're new and they got more powers and they're killing a lot of people and that's bad. So the, Cullens and werewolves work together to keep Bella safe. They end up beating Victoria, killing her, she's gone, who was going after Bella before and was a big threat and ended up being the one leading all these new vampires. So now the only thing we really have to be worried about is the Volturi, since Victoria's gone. And then the book kind of ends with Jacob being all butthurt that Bella's marrying Edward. Very even shorter summary of what happens is wolf and vampire drama, specifically Edward Jacob drama. Victoria's gone, we know what imprinting is now, and Bella and Edward are officially gonna tie the knot and get married. This is fine. Oh, the fireplace isn't on. Is that switch? I heard noise.
I feel like there's also a remote somewhere.
It's making sound.
Should have whooshed by now.
I'm scared. Help me. Oh. There it goes. You literally can't see it. Oh, there it goes. Thanks. You're welcome.
This is me trying my best, and I would like to just remind you all of the laughs that I've provided for so many years.
How do you like the change of scenery? The ambiance? It's very vampire-y. Are you frightened? This is the skin of a killer, you know what I'm saying? Things I liked. This is a short list, which is good, because I don't want to talk with these in for very long, because they will fall out, and it will be awful. Bella and Jacob's friendship at the beginning of the book. Just at the beginning. Guys, we got angst. We got angst this time. We got some angsty lore for both Jasper and Rosalie, but I really, really liked Rosalie's, and I especially liked, along with her lore, her reasoning for not wanting Bella to become a vampire. I thought that would, she was very thoughtful about it, and it felt very redeeming after she was very villainized in some of the other books. Another thing I like is right before there is the big fight between the Cullens and the werewolves against these vampires or whatever from Seattle. I like when Edward and Jacob actually have a normal, civilized, deep conversation when they think Bella's asleep. They actually acted civilized and decent, and I really appreciated it, and they had some discussions that were so nice. They did immediately get ruined the next morning, but in that moment, very nice, very good. Liked it. And Jacob asked some questions asking Edward how he was feeling after he thought Bella died in the last book. I enjoyed that. Edward did not give a good answer for that, but I appreciate Jacob for asking the questions that I also want to know. And then the last thing on my extensive list of things that I like was at the very end in the epilogue, the point of view switches to Jacob's point of view after all the books being from Bella's point of view. And I like this not only because we finally get a little break from being inside Bella's mind, it also just gives us a view into like angst with Jacob being upset that she's marrying Edward. I do like seeing other characters' perspectives, especially in a book like this where none of the characters make logical decisions. It is kind of nice to see where they're coming from. That's the things I liked. Now on to the definitely normal length list of things that I disliked about this book.
I really have given so much to you over the years, okay? And so whatever happens here, put it under the table.
Let's just start from the beginning. Edward is super controlling of Bella. She's not allowed to like go near Jacob or like any of the other werewolves, like to the intense degree that he like forces her to spend a weekend, like have a sleepover with Alice. And she doesn't know, and it's against her will, just so that she won't like just hang out with her, like literally the only friend she actually is decent about, Jacob. He also literally breaks her car so she won't go hang out with him, which is so normal, such normal boyfriend behavior, so normal and not toxic in the slightest. I wonder why she's hesitant to marry this man. Wow, that's insane. I'm shocked. On top of that, Bella not feeling like she's allowed to be upset at Edward. Girl, you're allowed to have your own opinion. Break up with him. Bella's also still awful. She's still super mean about her school friends. I'm taking these off. She thinks that anyone who is against her is literally like evil. She literally describes like a good and evil in the friend group. I don't understand. She's super dramatic about being like, about the fact she can age and get older. She fully gets mad at Jacob when she finds out that Jacob also like can't really like age. Please get off TikTok. The like anti-aging trend is unhealthy for you. She did this in the last book too, but just generally being really mean about the way that she describes Emily's like injured and disfigured face. Specifically describing it as ruined? That's just mean, bro. Her inability to have fun. Girl, you just graduated. She just hates everything fun. The whole like virginity conversation she had with her dad. That was uncomfortable for literally everyone involved. It was not a good time. It was not necessary for the plot either, I feel like. Page 87, they're passing notes, and the font changes every time like it's a different note being passed. That is impossible to read. It's horrible. The imprinting on children thing. Just the imprinting in general, actually. It just feels very controlling and not great. But then imprinting on children? Gross. And then Edward's description of Quill being a groomer. Edward describes this as, Quill will be the best, kindest big brother any kid ever had. There isn't a toddler on the planet that will be more carefully looked after than that little girl will be. And then, when she's older and needs a friend, he'll be more understanding, trustworthy, and reliable than anyone else she knows. And then, when she's grown up, they'll be as happily as Emily and Sam. It's gross. I don't like it very much. This is like, I'm genuinely upset. These are the reasons I like genuinely was not looking forward to watching the movie. Page 327. Jacob professing his love to Bella. Jacob kissing Bella without consent and then being super gross and a general just a-hole about it for 10 pages. He literally assaults her, and when she punches him and it breaks her hand because he's like a werewolf, he's like, why'd you punch me? Stop. Then Bella's dad's response to finding out that Jacob assaulted his child, and Jacob's like, she hit me, and he's like, why? And he's like, I kissed her. And Charlie says, good for you, kid. That's not very cool. And then Edward also just doesn't do anything about it. Beat his tush. End it. Done. Right now. Why are you suddenly peaceful? And then after all this happens, Jacob shows up at the graduation party that Bella has, because she, like, invited him a while back, which I was already like, do not invite him. It's at the Colons. Are you literally insane? And then she still invites him. And then he comes after she, like, punches him. And she's way too chill about it because she's, like, worried about the vampires in Seattle, and it's, like, a whole thing. And then they immediately, like, vampires, werewolves team up. So after the Cullens and the werewolves team up, there's just an interaction between Bella and Wolf Jacob that is so uncomfortable. She, like, kind of, like, pets him or something in front of everyone. And by everyone, I mean all the other wolves and all the Cullens. And then Bella literally manipulating Edward to not go and, like, help protect her and fight. And she's, like, freaking out, like, oh no, I can't let Edward be there fighting. And it's like, he's literally trying to protect you. Like, literally chill out. And she literally manipulates him. Like, she is aware in her subconscious, like, it talks about the fact she, like, is feeling guilty about doing this. Then don't do it. Next thing, moving right along. Edward wanting to protect Bella's virtue by, like, not doing anything together till they're married. Which is fine, like, I'm obviously nothing against, like, waiting till you're married, but just this, like, the sentence, no silly girl, I'm trying to protect yours, referring to her virtue. That's just a gross sentence. I don't like it. I know he's, like, old-fashioned because he's, like, a million years old, but that's so... Ew. The next thing on my list is Jacob literally like telling Bella that he's going to hurt himself or, like, die in the fight, like, as a way to get her to kiss him. That's so... Bro! It starts out with her being, like, not wanting to kiss him, and then halfway through she's like, wait, maybe I am attracted to him. I don't want to be reading this anymore. I am not having a good time. The next thing on my list is just, like, the mentions of the terms alpha and beta. I just can't. I wish I had a jester hat to put on right now. Because after my friend Azzy gave us a PowerPoint presentation about the Omegaverse, I cannot see those words ever again. Next thing is the way that Stephanie Meyer wrote Bella stuttering in the cold. Like, just the way she wrote it out with, like, letter dash letter dash letter, like, to show she's stuttering. It was genuinely, like, kind of difficult to read. And I like reading. And then Jacob, you want to know what's crazy? After she's cold and stuttering in the tent, Jacob's gross again. That's insane. That's crazy. Another thing I didn't expect. Wow. Because she's cold. And because the werewolves are basically, like, living heaters, he has to, like, go in the sleeping bag to help keep her warm. He doesn't have a shirt on, which is so great. Such a great thing to be happening. And then, like, he's thinking stuff that's really gross. I don't like anyone in this book, but in general, men are also just not the best. And after Jacob finds out that, like, Bella and Edward are engaged, he, like, freaks out and runs off. Fine, whatever, dude. But then Bella, like, blames herself for how Jacob responds to stuff, and she feels really bad that he's upset. He has been so gross and hurt you so much in the past, like, week, and you're still like, he's so upset that I'm marrying you instead. Like, it's like, no. You're living your own life. He can cope. He will deal with it. He will get over it. It is fine. You guys were never dating. It's not like you're breaking up with him or something. He can cope. He'll be fine. Bella's insistence to be, like, the wife in the Native American, like, werewolf story who kills herself to distract the vampires and, like, save everybody. Like, her insistence to put herself in dangerous situations or hurt herself while they're trying to protect her. She literally did not need to. Anyway, that was the last thing on my list of things that I disliked. Did I mention that we also watched the movie. So here is my thoughts and stuff on the movie. Overall, I wasn't particularly looking forward to watching this movie.
I didn't choose this movie because I like to watch it. It's punishing, but I think that it is historically important.
So I'm not gonna suffer alone on this. So we have Icarus watching it with me again.
I hate this. I hate it here. Same. Oh my gosh. Maybe he's being decent. I don't think he knows the meaning of that word.
Doesn't matter.
Yes. Yes. This is your wedding.
And then we also decided to drag my brother into watching it with us. He had no clue what was going on at all. He hasn't seen any of the other movies, he hasn't read the book, and all he has from the book is like a couple things I've mentioned to him without context.
Please let me go. I have to go. Please let me go.
Best things if I sit here.
Do you want us to take my spot?
Yeah.
Why wouldn't you be fully in the sleeping bag if you're that cold? Does anyone die this night that we care about?
No. Are you asking because you're nervous?
No, I just. I'm not gonna make it out after he bandages her.
Alright, movie thought time. How exciting. I'm so excited. In general, the movies will always feel more awkward to me. Seeing what I just read, like, acted out is forever uncomfortable. When I'm reading it, my brain, like, autocorrects things to be not as awkward as they are. But when you're seeing people act it out, and there isn't that filter, like the secondhand embarrassment, it's so uncomfortable. I can't handle it.
I am harder than you. You have to consider that I might be better for her than you are.
But literally, neither of you are.
When you said you marry me, Mrs. Khan.
You're not married yet. You can't say that. You just are marrying someone else. You cannot ask him to kiss you. Isn't that cheating? Isn't Edward like 5 trees away? Yeah, and can hear thoughts.
It wasn't easy making you admit your feelings for me.
Why is he like not okay? Because she's not okay.
Oh my god.
Because she's cold. I think she just needs to move to like Europe.
She should move back in with her mom in Florida.
Look at them.
Wow. They can at least put shirts on.
Put a shirt on.
She may need a
Put a shirt on. As he
Oh no, a
approaches.
shirtless night.
Shirtless in the sun. Put a shirt on!
Something that the movie did do is it like either just skimmed over, or rushed a lot of some of the like in-between scenes, or like have combined some of them, which was fine. Kind of the whole movie and story felt like kind of an in-between scene, so cutting out more of that was like fine. Things I actually liked about this movie. I thought it was actually pretty interesting that they put a lot of focus on Riley and Bree, who are 2 vampires from the Seattle group. They put some focus on them earlier and then like throughout the story before we actually have the fight, which allowed us to get some context on what the vampires in Seattle were doing, but also to empathize with specifically Riley and Bree so that their interactions later on are a little more meaningful. It made things more connected, brought it more full circle. It's pretty okay. Other thing I liked about the movie is how much angstier Jacob's injury at the end was on screen than just reading it. Still didn't love Bella being dramatic, but just Jacob in general being like not okay. I like angst.
He ain't having a good time.
Things I disliked for the movie. It's nothing like specific that I disliked about it. Pretty much everything I disliked about the book, I hated in the movie.
The fact he calls her his
I
reason
might actually like you.
that's not.
So much more awkward, like watching Bella talk to her dad about the fact she is a virgin, then just reading it. I will never get over like the CGI animation in these movies. I can't take it seriously. Like the wolves were like okay, but I will never get over the way the vampires run, like any of that. It's just so bad. I don't know. It's funny to me.
Having such a budget, the CGI like sucks. The other movies were like okay.
You're right, it's not very good.
Sorry.
Just overall, like, as a dislike, the movie was kind of boring.
So, what are your thoughts, Steph? What was the point of everything that happened? Exactly.
It felt really short, like it didn't feel like very much was going on. Again, this whole story, in terms of the ones in the series, kind of like a filler episode in a show. Just overall, like, not much happened. I don't know.
I mean, I guess the only conflict was like her figuring out like exactly what path her life is going to take. Yeah. And like she did have like some uncertainty, and everyone was trying to convince her like, no, not Edward. And he did like definitely have some moments of like, oh no, baby Jacob. But then she like, at the end of the movie, she was right back to where she started at the beginning. Yeah, and got to the truth like so quickly. It was like it didn't happen. So that was. So you're gonna have the last piece of popcorn make up for the fact that you just wasted 2 hours of your life. Yay. Yes. Oh man.